morning. Good morning.
Good
Good
A
morning.
morning.
new day, a brand new week, a brand new opportunity to say thank you, God. Thank you,
Thank
God,
Amen.
you,
for what you do.
God.
Thank you, God, for being there, for keeping us covered and protected, for watching over us. And let me say this morning. Get you a thank you spirit every day. It's not just thankful
Amen.
Thursday, baby. It's thankful Sunday, thankful Monday, thankful Tuesday, thankful
Thankful
Wednesday,
every day.
thankful
Thankful.
Thursday, thankful Friday, thankful Saturday, thankful every single day of the year,
I'm
regardless of how
telling,
many
just walk
years you have.
around.
It should be thankful all day, every day. It should be
Just walking around talking about thank you, God.
you should be
Thank you,
looking at
God.
you saying,
I,
"Oh, you look
I
like you
just
got a
find
thank
myself
you
just
on
walking around. Just thank you, God. Thank you,
you."
God. Thank you, God. Hey, you
Yes.
just walking, girl. Thank you,
Thank
God.
Thank
you,
you.
Thank
God.
you, God.
Thank you that I can. Thank you that I'm able to. Thank you that
To
you woke
walk.
me up this
Yep.
morning. You know when somebody says, what are your wins for? You know how you see people in the groups and stuff. They're like, what are your wins for? This week or whatever. Girl, that I woke up every morning, that I'm still here, that he's still
Amen.
That I have my own
there.
senses. Like people don't understand the senses are viral for your life. You have the sense to smell. Like, you know
Oh,
how some people be like, I really can't smell. And then,
mm-hmm.
some people you like, that girl can smell anything. I'm like, it's something in my kitchen right now. It stink. Like, and Alexia like, it does not stink in here. Yes, it does.
What you said, baby?
But
My nose is sensitive, but you know what? Just like you smell that, we should be sensitive in the spirit. You should know
yes, you
when
should
someone in
be
your
able to smell
life, when somebody in your life stinks, when their behavior, because girl, y'all know my
that.
mind be all
Woo!
over the place. And so, I was just thinking about, how sometimes people are so nasty and mean to people. They just like, go back where you came from. And I was thinking, what is an appropriate response to that? And I was like, go back, give the devil back his soul. How would you
Give it
Mm.
back to him. That is
Ooh.
good, Angela.
back his soul because he's taking yours? Because for you to be nasty, mean, and
Ooh.
ugly to somebody, that means that you have allowed the devil to come in and take the goodness of God. Because God,
Amen.
Hmm.
that right there, and a lot of times, it's Christians who behave like that. And so
Mm.
you can't tell me that Jesus wants you to run around here and tell somebody ugly things just
No.
because you've
And I'm
been.
just trying to, they have that. I'm just trying to tell them. Everybody's just trying to keep it real. I'm
Yeah,
just trying to
yeah.
keep it
But
real.
how do
Like,
you? But who told you it was real? Because at the end of the day, the society and the way that we operate now, that's not reality. Truly,
Well, and I have a question. If they're going to keep it real, are you practicing that too? Are you practicing what you're,
exactly.
because we got a lot of people out there telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing and how you should be living your life,
mhm.
but then they're not following in those same
Absolutely
footsteps.
not.
You,
Absolutely not. That's why I
you
say, give the devil back his soul. Think
give it
about
back. I love
truly.
that. Give the
I like
devil
that.
back his soul.
Yeah,
Everybody should just
I'm
type
going to
that.
use that
Give the
today.
devil. Like when he started trying to make devil, here go your soul.
get your soul back, because I'm not going to be operating every day that we move forward. As you get older, you should be wiser. What they say, when I get old, I put the childish things behind me. But
Hmm.
that's childish behavior when it's tit for tat. When you go low,
Yes.
you know how they say, Michelle Obama is credited with saying, when they go low, you go
You
high.
go high. I
Versus
believe that too.
when you are
Or
part
you go silent.
when you're part of the devil's
That's me.
army of people, when somebody goes low, you want to go lower.
Uh
That
huh.
should be your
Mm-mm.
thought
I'm gonna
process.
get her before she get me.
Gets
We
me.
have that
Mhm,
mentality. I'm gonna get
mhm.
them before they get me. I'm good at clap back. That is not always applause because you're a great
Right.
clapper back.
That's not
See, and
something
I'm the
that you
silent.
should
I'm the
be.
silent type. I get
Yeah,
silent
like
on here. You
Yeah.
won't hear from me.
to me, you got to be more careful about that silent person, like that person that don't say nothing.
Yes.
To
Yes.
me, them are the
Yes.
ones that you got to, when the bully is bullying that quiet one that don't mess with
Mhm.
nobody, but
Yes.
leave him or
Leave,
her alone, cause
leave
them
them
quiet ones.
alone because this ain't what you want. You think it is. You think you got the upper hand, and that's the reality. That is the false reality that we present ourselves with. For people who bully people, for people who talk stuff, for people who really act ugly, you think you have the upper hand when in reality you don't.
You
You've given
don't.
yourself a false
You. That's
reality.
a false.
Yes, it is. It's like what they say, fear, false evidence appearing real. You've given yourself something that is not accurate, because just because people don't clap back, just because they don't snap back, just because they don't, fight
She's
back,
scary.
doesn't mean that they're afraid of you. Sometimes
Yeah,
people
or not
choose.
being reactive. I remember being so emotionally reactive when I was younger. Everything people
Hmm.
said or did, I was just emotionally right there to have something to say.
What they
Now I
say?
just
Look, what you
yeah,
say? Look,
What you
now
say?
I just don't allow my emotions to get caught up. Yeah, I just don't allow myself to get ruffled by someone. So,
mm-hmm.
that silence doesn't necessarily mean I'm coming for you. My
It
silence
does.
just
No.
means you're coming this way, and I'm going to go ahead and go this way because I
And
Mm-hmm.
just
I'm
don't
okay
want
with
that in my
being the
life.
one who exit. Like
Correct.
I'm okay. You know how they say, well, she ain't gonna run me out. You're not running me out. Your spirit is, but your spirit is saying no. I don't
And
And
I'm
want
it's
happy
you.
to and
okay
I'm happy
because
to
I'm not
leave.
missing anything. To
Exactly.
remove myself from the situation, I'm not missing anything, and I'm not
Right.
going to allow you to antagonize me. However, let me go back properly and say, good morning, Miss Phyllis. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Miss Patricia, it is great to see you. We appreciate you ladies being here and your support and love. It means everything. Thank you
It
so much
does.
for it. So today, and I guess that was a great way to introduce what we wanted to talk about this week, because emotional addiction, there are people who are emotionally addicted to the
Good
chaos,
morning, Doris.
to the foolishness. Good morning, Miss Doris. Glad to see you as well. We have people that are emotionally addicted to things that they should have moved past by now. You know what I'm
Especially in
saying?
this
The
big city.
chaos and the turn up, and
The
The
drama.
the
drama.
drama, and
We did it at the same time.
every listen, every time your spirit gets up and goes to social media looking for them fights, baby, you addicted to chaos.
You are addicted.
You're addicted
You
to
are
something.
addicted to it.
And honestly speaking, most of America, when you think about it, if a person has a choice to look at something that is going to be foolish versus something that is going to empower them, they're going to choose the foolish.
They're gonna choose foolish every
They're going to
time.
choose something that's going to make them laugh or how at somebody else's expense. We choose to select those things that happen to everybody else versus choosing to do the things that work on us to improve us,
Sure. We
because
don't want
that's
to look
what
at
empowerment
ourselves.
is. It's about you. It's about you making the choice to be empowered and to feel like you have control and to feel like you're making your best moves in any given situation. But if you choose not to do that work, whether it is mentally, whether it is physically, whether it is spiritually, whether it's emotionally, if you choose not to do that and instead look at somebody else going through some things, or choose to, because let's get real, all of those shows that you look at, like the Real Housewives, or all these other reality shows,
It's
if
just
they were coming
drama.
on being uplifting and positive and having happy home lives and all that, the ratings wouldn't be the same as it
And
is.
I know I should like them, but I like some
Right. I mean,
drama.
it's entertainment. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm
I
saying
don't want it
that,
in my life, but
but we're very comfortable, and we're going to look at those type of things that are so crazy. We love the movies where somebody's cheating on somebody and somebody kills somebody and somebody, then, we love those things.
but they normally have a happy ending.
That's what sells when they go to jail. Ain't nothing happy about hello.
Natasha, I'm trying to fix it up. Trying
I
to fix
Hey,
it
see.
up.
I see that. I see that.
listen. Hey, wait a minute. Because I just got through watching. My daughter and I, last week, I believe, got through watching The Polygamist, and at the end of the day, I know they gave her a little thumbs up.
See,
I
they with
can't.
me
She didn't
even in
have a
my
happy ending, baby.
foolishness.
He was out
Stream
here
yard
acting
is
fool.
just
She
on
did
my
not have
side.
one. Look, she gonna hang on to that, and I told you, Natasha, consistently it gives her
It
thumbs
does.
up,
And
but
only
you
her. Because I talk with my hands all the time and you never
you
see
do,
anything.
you do, you get
You,
nothing.
yeah, we all do.
You get nothing, Natasha. Neither do I. But Sparky
Well,
gets.
she is God's favorite daughter,
She,
so
she is. She
She's
is.
part of the package.
it
It's
is.
part of the package. Exactly. Even with StreamYard, that just lets you know God. overrides and overrules all things.
You
All things.
keep watching. You keep watching the drama. Is what God's saying.
Yeah,
Keep with
yeah.
the entertainment.
It's okay to hear it.
He
It's
probably
okay to
happy
do
for me to
so.
watch it versus living it, cause he like, cause
Facts.
boy, when she was living it.
Facts.
Right, we just say there
Facts.
can be somebody else's stuff now. But Natasha, when chaos has been your normal, why does peace feel uncomfortable? But we know that God says, He is our peace. He will give us peace that surpasses all understanding. But when you have grown up and been accustomed to the chaos all of your life, when you get peace, why you feel like it's boring? When you get a good man or a good woman, why you feel like I need somebody, I need a bad boy. I need somebody that's going to turn up. I need somebody.
Yes, people like he
I
too
want somebody to
good.
test me out. I want somebody to tell me get somewhere and sit my behind down. You know what I'm saying? Why are we
Yes,
doing that?
Natasha, why is that? Because it's so crazy. I just said this. I said, I want a great man, but I need him to have just the 10% of thugness in him. I just want a little, like, I want this great one, but I just need a little bit of that is, come on, tell me, girl, fix me, fix me.
You want
She
to say that?
said. She said, "Fix me." It has a lot to do with conditioning, and it has a
Mm-hmm.
lot to do with how that chaos and dysfunction impacted your nervous system. So
Miss
imagine.
Dorothy, good question, baby. Why we love them thugs?
Why we love a little thugnism?
Love a little thug.
I
Look,
don't
never let
So
need a
anyone.
whole. I don't need a whole overdose of it.
Right, right. I just
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 a
know you
shot,
got some in. I
Just
just
a
know
just a
you
little
need
shot.
to
shot.
get some in you.
You can take the Hennessy to the head. Like,
So I want to take the word addiction out of it just for a second because I want some of our listeners to. Yeah, people hear the word addiction and they're like, "I'm no addict."
Right, and
Understanding
scroll
that
away.
addiction
yes.
is this. I
It's just
can't.
not my show.
Addiction is this. We develop a dependency over time because whatever it is that we're doing or whatever it is that we're receiving is giving you that dopamine hit, right? It's making you feel better. What's go? Oh boy,
Yes,
a
because
mutt.
there's a
Yeah, that's an
song
old.
that Chris Brown said,
Yes,
I'm a dog, not a mutt. I'm a mutt, not a whatever.
I'm a mutt. I'm a mutt, not a dog.
I'm a mutt,
Yeah,
not a
I'm
dog.
a
Right.
mutt, not a
You better
dog.
listen. Yes. Because the sounds so good, girl. The beat is girl, it make you want to sing it.
See, I
And then
already
you
knew it.
realize, I ain't no mutt. You know how when people call you a bitch, you be like, oh, I'm not that. That's not who I am. We fall in love with those things. I'm sorry, Natasha, I got off track.
No, we are having a moment this morning.
Yeah,
It's our
No,
first day back.
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's a conditioning response. Over time, your nervous system grows accustomed to operating a certain way. And so it's used to functioning. And so if you think about what you're doing, it's giving you this dopamine hit, right? Drugs and
Mm-hmm,
alcohol give you a dopamine hit. Unhealthy foods give you a dopamine hit. Sex gives you a dopamine hit. Attention gives you a dopamine hit, right? These are just some
Okay.
examples. So my emotional dependency is at a very early age, I learned what would give me that spike in my brain, right? That would make me feel good. And even if it meant I had to chase, even if it meant I had to beg, even if it meant I had to conform, even if it meant I had to be a doormat for somebody, something is better than nothing, right? So
mm-hmm,
I'm going to say something that's going to sound really, really odd to everybody. So when I was younger, and my mom would spank me, there came a point when I learned this in therapy where I wouldn't cry,
mm-hmm.
right? She would be spanking me and I'd look her dead in the eye, and that used to really annoy her. And
Oh,
came to
unless
find
she used to
out
do
that
that.
for me, the fact that she was looking at me in that moment when she was spanking me, I got more attention in that moment than I did when I was making straight A's and doing really well in school.
Wow.
Wow.
So psychologically as a child, I learned that getting in trouble was, yeah, she's going to spank me, but in that moment,
I
that
got
was a
100% of her
I
attention.
have her.
correct.
But
And I have
isn't
her
that
all to
crazy?
myself
All to
too.
myself. Everything is focused on me. And is that not crazy
That
that
and I
as a
know kids
child
are
you would
going
have
through
got
the same thing
Mhm.
now. You can see it.
You think about it that when a child is oftentimes behaving well, they kind of
Mm-hmm.
run on autopilot.
They
Mm-hmm.
do.
But the minute they get into trouble, everybody's on time. What's going on? Why are you doing that? And all of a sudden, all eyes are on you.
Yeah.
So, what does that teach a child over time, right?
Mm.
Right.
For some,
Because
I'm not going to
even
say
for
for all, I
When
say for
babies,
I
some.
act a nut, here y'all come. But when I act right, y'all just don't pay me no attention.
It's
it's
almost like
even
I'm
for a
non-existent.
baby, Natasha, because a baby knows that if I cry, you're gonna come and figure out what's wrong with me. You're gonna give me a
Hmm.
bottle, change my behind. You're gonna cuddle me and rock me. And
Correct.
so babies get it. They
That
understand. Like,
connection,
yeah,
coming
I'm
back to
gonna
that
cry
connection
because
again.
I need you to come on back and get me.
Even
Correct.
employment. Even employment. Think about employment. The people that do their job supposed to do what they supposed to do.
Girl,
No,
anything but that.
they don't get no attention. Nobody pays them no attention. But the person that continues to mess up gets all the attention. Go help her. Go after her. She needs help. She needs this. She has all now all eyes are on her.
And
Mm-hmm.
so imagine just growing up in environments where there's chaos or dysfunction, and that's all you're familiar with. You think of conditioning. The brain, the body is conditioned and trained to function in this hyper state, right? So it
Right.
keeps the nervous system constantly hyper. You're hyper vigilant about everything that you do because you're always on alert. The body is always on alert because of the chaos and the dysfunction. And I experienced this with my ex-husband, and when I was getting sober, I experienced it as well, that when life was like this and running smoothly, I was always looking over my shoulder and waiting for the next shoe to drop. I was always waiting for the next bad thing to happen, and
Mm,
people would always say to me, "You're so pessimistic and you're always thinking, the worst." It's what I was used to. I grew
that is
accustomed and
so
conditioned
true.
to it, right? So this emotional dependence is, and the same thing happens even in abusive relationships. This is going to, for people who have not lived it, may not understand it, but you grow comfortable in it. So I grew up getting beaten as a kid. My next relationship, he was emotionally abusive in that he would withhold love, right? When I compare both relationships from childhood to that relationship, he was still a step up from where I was before. So I'm still in an
Mm.
unhealthy relationship, but it's not as unhealthy as the first one. It almost felt like I graduated, like I gained something.
Yep.
And I remembered in therapy learning that some attention is better than no attention. And I carried that for a really, really long time. And so I depended upon getting attention any way that I can,
Any way
even
necessary.
any way necessary. And because that aligned with my nervous system at the time, because that's what my nervous system, we ignore our nervous system. I don't think enough people talk about the nervous system and what trauma, chaos, and dysfunction does to us on the inside, and how many of us are operating. So when we talk about, it seems like everybody today has anxiety, right? And I,
No.
The
and I really don't.
buzzword. Good morning, Cynthia. That is the buzzword for maybe what the last 8 years, 18
Yeah,
years.
Yeah,
it's on
eight
a
to ten.
raise.
Because
So
when I was
everybody,
growing up, we never talked about anxiety. I don't think I ever
I
heard
probably
anybody
could
say.
ask my grandmama now what is anxiety, and she was like, "Who?
Yeah,
Who
exactly,
is
I don't
she?"
remember
exactly.
people having anxiety. That wasn't a term that was well used.
But guys, my
And
grandma would have said, "She just you make that crazy girl. She crazy. She just crazy."
And basically, your anxiety is your body's inability to regulate emotion. It's a
Mm,
symptom of other emotions that you're experiencing. And the brain doesn't know how to regulate it because a part of that brain is underdeveloped, it's not matured. And you haven't learned sufficient coping skills to regulate your emotions. So emotions accumulate and it manifests in anxiety. For some, it manifests into depression, it manifests into a lot of different mental health conditions, but it's
mm-hmm,
all related to emotional instability, right? We're
mm,
having feelings and we don't know how to basically channel those emotions, right?
Mhm.
Somebody gets angry and they're either going to lash out or they're going to hold it in, kind of like what you and I were just talking about, Sparkle. When we were younger, we got really reactive and we were aggressive in people's faces. Then I went through this space of holding it in and not saying anything. My
mm-hmm.
silence today is not me being passive. My silence today says I'm going to remove myself from this because the way that I've reconditioned my nervous system, I need calmness in my life. I don't need chaos. Right. And I learned to protect my
Need
peace
it.
as a
I
result.
need it.
Yes. And
Correct.
you know what, Natasha, even for people making the conscious choice that I have too much to lose to
Hmm.
entertain this. I
Yep.
have built up too much in my life to revert
I
back
have
to
worked too
breaking
hard.
and tearing it down. Yes, you work
Correct.
too hard. It comes to a place, but also even when you think of how people think worst case scenario. Why not think best case scenario? God's best is always, if you trust God and you believe God, and we say that every day, then I'm always needing to think best thing that can happen is I'm healed. Best thing
Yeah.
that can happen is I'm
Yep.
going to get this job. Best thing that happens is if they don't give it to me, I know God has something better. But
Amen.
always looking at the best case, not the worst case. But society teaches us,
It's
conditions
conditioning.
Yeah.
us
We're conditioned.
to
Because
worst
when
case scenario
somebody say,
every
"Girl,
single
I
time.
need to talk to you," or even you, "I need to talk to you,"
You always
it's
think it's bad.
immediately like, "Oh my God, what did
What
I
What's
happened?
going
do?
down? What's going
What's
down?
going
Come
out?
on.
What's getting ready to happen?" And
Right,
then you
right.
sitting there, I'm getting ready to lose my job. My husband getting ready to leave me. Like you have went through this
You
whole
done already made
mess.
a solution. Well, girl, let me see what I'm gonna do. Well, I guess you can come over here and stay
And
for a little while. Or then
you even walk into the room that they want to talk to you, you already have the look on your face like you're emotionally drained
Hmm.
immediately, and you haven't even received anything. Yeah, Natasha, let's talk about that. That is like so draining that
No,
immediately we go to the negative.
it's
mm-hmm.
because so you have to think about when the person says, I need to talk to you. You have to ask yourself in your past, somehow, somewhere you've heard that. And every time you've heard that, right? I'll use myself as an example. When I moved out of my mom's house and I was in trouble, or I did things that, even though I was an adult, I shouldn't be doing, the infamous line was, we need to talk, or I need to talk to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a child or as a young woman, I associated I need to talk to you as you're going to get reprimanded. I've been conditioned to believe, right? And I allowed myself to be in bondage over that when you need to talk to me, I'm in trouble. So you fast forward in life and somebody calls me, a boss can call me and say, hey, I need to talk to you. And my alarm system within me goes off,
It's
right?
so,
And I'm like, am I about to get fired? Now,
and they get
what
ready to
happened?
promote you.
Well,
Like,
what happens now psychologically in my head before I even enter the room is I'm playing all of the worst case scenarios of what I did, how I did it, how can I be in trouble, and I get fixated on the negative because of what I've associated with in my past. And so now I walk in that room and I'm like a nervous Nelly, or just waiting for somebody that says you're fired, get put pack your box up or whatever, and then they turn and say, I really like you, what you're doing, and blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden you're like,
Look, let's start off with that. Because do you know how many times we talk to somebody and say, hey, I need to talk to you. Ain't nothing wrong. Everything's good. But, we just need to talk.
so
We
that's
practice
something
that to help
I have.
you.
Yes, I have asked my children to do that because when they say I need to talk to you, my mind goes to they're going to tell me something that is just off the chain that I'm not ready to handle or receive. So I've asked them over the years, like, you need to let me know whether this is something is life threatening or not. Give me a heads up.
so
Right.
I won't build mess up my whole nervous system.
Overthinking.
And don't
Overthinking
let
what,
it be
what
a
we can
day
do.
or two. Like don't let it, I can't talk to you until Friday.
Ooh,
Monday through Thursday.
Thursday, you're stressing. That's
Monday
because
through
so
Friday
what happens
until they
is
tell you you stressing up
that
until the time. Like,
that
can't call me.
threatens or that triggers the nervous system, and so now the certain nervous system is now agitated and remains agitated until Friday comes for you then to hear what's really going on, right? So it's just
Yeah,
a conditioning response.
but I think the world has adapted to that because
Oh
they
yeah.
are always like, I'm gonna tell you the worst scenario. I'm gonna tell you the worst part that could happen. Because I rather tell you the worst and then it turns out great. But why do you want to fill somebody's tank up with the worst?
That's I don't want to say it's a complicated question. A lot we are operating on a psychological level. Everything is so intellectually based, and we don't take the time to operate from an emotional place and learn on how to regulate emotions. Everything is overthinking, overfunctioning, using our just a logical part of our brain. Our brain has two parts to it. There's a logical part of the brain, there's an emotional part of brain. I've been saying that, for the last couple seasons on the show. And many of us want to think our way through things. And there are just some things that you can't think through, that you have to allow yourself to feel, give yourself permission to feel. One of the things that I found for myself, and it just happened within the last couple of days, is that when I give myself permission to feel, I allow those emotions to come through me, and that puts me in a state of surrender to God. It reminds me that God is there for me to hand it over to, that I don't have to handle it on my own.
It sounds like a virus. You know how like they say the only way you gonna get through it is it has to come through you. Like
Correct.
the
Correct.
only way you're gonna feel better is that it all has to come through you.
And you have to think about how, so, some of our primal needs are food, shelter, love, affection, to be nurtured, emotional safety, physical safety, emotional and physical protection, and guidance. Those are primal
Girl,
needs.
your memory is
Baby,
that
I
that
love it.
memory that memory bank of yours
My kids will
is so
argue otherwise. But we all need primal needs, right? These primal needs need to be met, and when they're not met, and I'm going to use love as an example. How I learn what love is. So if I equate my love means that I have to earn my love, I have to perform in order for you to love me. If I learn that when I'm younger, then that, and I'm conditioned to do that, we are operating out of habit. We are
mm,
operating out of that conditional
and that's not
response.
not out of love.
Correct. And so now I grow dependent, that in order for you to love me, I have to perform for you. I have to do for you. That's where the people pleasing comes in. That's where over functioning comes in. That's where overextending yourself comes into play. And a lot of us do that because we're like, well, and I hear people say, well, I'm a mother and I'm a father and I love them. God did not create us to love another person by putting ourselves on the cross and sacrificing ourselves. Jesus already did that. So we don't need to go back and do that again. Right? But we keep sacrificing ourselves. And sort of the science behind this a little bit is helping people understand that when I learn that if I perform, you will love me, that will then make me feel good. That ignites the pleasure center of my brain. That's that dopamine spike that I'm talking about. Right? So when I want my dopamine spike, what do you think I'm going to do?
Go out and do something.
Go
So
out and
it
do
can be
something for
spiked up.
somebody. Correct. And so even though that person might be treating me poorly, and I use this a lot in domestic violence cases, or in a relationship where you're being abused, the person isn't necessarily abusing you 100% of the time, all day, every day. There's these moments of where they're abusive, but then there's these small little fraction of moments where they may show you some attention. They
Right.
might give you a hug. They might compliment you. They might even come back and say, I'm sorry for what I did. And in that moment, you feel love. And what did I say earlier? Some love is better than no love,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if I already am feeling insecure and I have low self worth and I have low self esteem and I don't see myself as worthy and I don't know who I am, whatever you give me that equates to love, I'm going to take.
And you're going to magnify it because it may be something very small, but in your mind,
Correct.
you're just like, oh my God, they love me. Oh my
And,
Correct.
God.
and you're gonna
And that
I
keeps you to
stay
stay.
because I know I stay because I know he really loves me. It's just
Correct.
when he gets in, it's just when he drinks. It's just when we
Correct.
start making excuses for people's actions.
Yeah, we get, and you get comfortable in that. And I always say you don't know what you don't know. So for those
Mm-hmm.
of us who have not been in those situations, everybody just really needs to mind their business and understand the individual that's going through it. There's a reason why they're staying in those relationships. It's not because they're dumb, it's not because they're stupid, it's not because they don't know any better, right? I was talking to a friend last night that It's crazy how much stuff we learn from the minute that we're in the womb, and how much of that leaves an imprint on you as a person, how much of that shapes you psychologically, how much that
Yes.
shapes you emotionally, that it takes you away from your true identity. It takes you away from who God created you to be. And there comes a point in this journey when you're seeking God and seeking a relationship with God and finding your identity in God, where there's this interpersonal conflict. There's internal conflict between how society and how life and exposure to life has shaped you and who God's created you to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a personal choice to make. Are we going to continue to believe the lies? Are we going to continue to believe and live the way that the world has conditioned us, like Angela was
Condition.
just talking? Or am I going to walk? I'm going to believe in what God's who God says I am and walk in accordance to that. Many of us desire to walk with God, but this is where we become divided because we're so heavily influenced and shaped by the world, and also consumed by the world, might I add, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to change. I tell people, first of all, healing isn't pretty. Healing isn't a bed of roses, but
Healing is not
it is
pretty.
a daily intentional process for yourself every day to take a look at the parts of you that you've conditioned, that has been conditioned, that is no longer working for you. It might have served you when you were in survival mode. It might have served you when you were going through, like, there are versions of me. I say thank you for being who you were in that moment in your life, because it got you
Mm-hmm.
through what you needed to get through. But that's not who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So I can release that version of me, because that's not where I'm at, and I don't need to be that way to get to where I'm going next with God. Right? But
Yep.
again, this process is a daily intentional process with self. And a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it myself, we want what we want and we want it now, right? That instant gratification.
Right.
We want the change to happen overnight. And so we'll start with change. And when the change doesn't happen as quickly as we want it to, if the change doesn't look the way we expected it to, many of us go back to what's comfortable.
Yeah. It and when you're going through healing, you get past one point of the healing that you came to get addressed, and then another part comes, and then another part comes, and you like, some people get to that point like it never stops. Healing doesn't. It never stops. Like,
It's
it's
a
an
journey.
ongoing process over and
Yeah.
over. And the thing that I'm learning is you don't know you completely heal until you're in the situation again.
And somebody
Right.
triggers the nervous system, right?
Yes. You like, I'm healed from men. Boy, you haven't been with one in like 10 years. So, I mean,
Listen,
sure.
so this is how God works. I literally had something happen with a relative this weekend, and I said the exact same thing after it triggered my nervous system. I really thought after years of therapy I had forgiven and was done with this relationship with this person, and done in the sense, like, I can be around them and I can be civil with them,
Yeah.
but the person did something that I couldn't control. They are who they are. And I immediately got irritated. And then I got irritated with myself, because I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you
Why
even
you letting
allowing
them
this?
irritate you?
And then I'm saying to myself, we worked on this. Like, I thought we've been through this. Like, why are we still here? So that's a really, really good point. Um, of It's such an ongoing process, because you might think, and I always say, I call it residuals. You may have gone to therapy, you may have worked on something, but a lot of how we've been influenced and shaped is so deeply rooted. You have to go back. It's almost like weeds, right? When you go to pull up a weed, you have to pull it by its root. You can't just pull it from the top, because it's going to come back. And so it's the same thing with the things in our early childhood years. You have to pull it up by the root. It
I
says the
love
more.
what Tina has put up there because that's you're right, Natasha. She said, "The more I grow, I add a new part of me that may get hurt, need protection, and may one day need healing."
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah,
so
because
people don't even really think about that. But if you're thinking that okay, I'm growing, and I'm choosing better. You know how like when you're trying to eat healthier, you're choosing better food options. Well, when you're healing from hurt or rejection or whatever it is, abandonment or whatever it is, that means that you're choosing people who are not going to do that to you, or you're choosing to put yourself in situations and you're growing and you're being more discerning. But as you're doing that, that's a vulnerable place to be in, because before you may have shut down and protected your heart and built a wall. Now you're learning to, talk about your community.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But
Learning to
as you
be vulnerable.
communicate, you're more vulnerable. So if somebody says something crazy, you got to really think, okay, yes, I've grown, but at the same time, this is a new part of me that I'm experiencing, and I'm feeling safer with you as my friend or you as my significant other to share things that before people used to hurt me behind.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
listen, when I was younger, because I wanted to be liked by everybody, I'll tell anybody anything, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. Today, my circle is like that small. That small. I'm very particular.
and it's okay. So I think people mistake the fact that, how some people say as you get older, your circle
Get
probably does
smaller.
get smaller,
Yep.
versus because at some point you don't tolerate the same things. At some
Yeah.
point you're like, you know what, I'm good. As Miss Doris says, as we grow, we are reinventing ourselves.
Hmm.
Yes.
That
And
comes
I believe
with
that's part of why your circle gets smaller too. Because as you reinvent yourself, you don't need what you need then. Like that that need is not needed anymore. The
right.
older you get, sometimes the more you spend, like I know I spend a majority of my time alone with just me. But most people think because I'm outgoing and I have a strong
But you got to
personality
have a lot of people.
that I have friends like from here, there, and everywhere. No, I think the reason why I stay like in this is because I keep the less down because the less is better for me. And
Yeah, I think something I learned in my journey is that when I was younger, my vulnerability was I gave my vulnerability away, and people did what they wanted when they wanted with it. I've regained my vulnerability in knowing that I have the power to determine and decide who I allow myself to be vulnerable with. So
mm,
I no longer allow just anybody into my world. I don't allow myself to be vulnerable with just anybody. I'm very particular about that, and it has worked well. Because at the
and
end
it's
of the
working for
day,
me.
because at the end of the day, if I am rolling out, I think of it like a red carpet. If I'm rolling out my vulnerability to you, and you start to take advantage of that or mistreat that, I have all the power within me to roll that vulnerability back in,
Hmm.
right? That vulnerability is mine. I think I know for myself growing up, the word vulnerability scared the heck out of me because you're a child, you're innocent, you're vulnerable, and when things happen to you, you're taken advantage of.
Right, right.
You lose control, you feel powerless, and you're like, I'm never going to be vulnerable again. So you tend to put up the
You
wall and you
shut
put
it
up the
down.
shield
Yeah.
and you shut it down, or you push people away. Today, God has taught me that I can be vulnerable. I need to be I pick and choose who I'm vulnerable with. And even with those that I pick and choose to be vulnerable with, if at any moment they disrespect that vulnerability or they mistreat that vulnerability, you're out. That's where boundary setting, that's where
Yeah,
boundaries come in.
It
that's really
is.
good, because the reality is when you start becoming vulnerable with someone, to me, as you grow, you're less attached to the outcome of that.
Correct.
Meaning,
Yes.
before when I shared something with you, I wanted you to be on my side. I wanted you to see it from my perspective. I wanted you to say, you still love me, or you still, we still cool, even after I shared that with you. When you start growing, especially growing in God, you start realizing if I share something with you, whether you stay or go, I gives not any, I could care less. Because it doesn't,
Life goes
I forgot
on.
this in the morning, so
Yep.
let me tone it down. But you don't, but you get to a space where
Yep.
even me telling you my truth, I don't care about the outcome. You can take it and run with it and tell whoever
It's
you
my
want to.
truth.
you can tell Tom, Dick, Harry, Henrietta, and Margaret, everybody,
And
you
it's
can
still
tell
gonna be the
them, hey,
same.
I'm still going to move. It's not changing how I operate in my day-to-day
Correct.
life. But that comes with discernment, that comes with knowing who you are. And like Miss Doris said, it's an identity shift
Yep.
when you start realizing that I choose me.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't
Every
choose
single
you.
time I'm
Yeah,
going to
because
steal.
younger, yes, younger you chooses the other people because
Yep.
you want them to be a part of you. You want them to validate you. You want
I
them
want
to,
you to, I wanted
yes,
likes.
you
I
want to
wanted
be right.
everybody to like
Exactly.
me.
I
Just
want you to
like
invite
me.
me to
Just
the
like
party.
me.
I want you to invite me to the party. I want you to invite me to the event. I want you to do this. When you get older, you're just like, oh, girl, don't call me, please, because I really didn't want to go. I don't, just share the house with me. I don't have to be
Alicia
there in person.
says,
Did you lose my
Mama,
invitation in the mail? That's great. Thanks.
yes.
Thanks for
Yes,
losing my
Alicia, I
invitation.
tell me all the time, this 50-year-old of you, girl, you don't care. Like your caring system has went to, it went
yes.
to a
Well,
hundred.
I don't. I don't know that it's that we don't care, right?
No,
I
no.
think
And
what
I
happens
mean,
is we
she's
care
just
more
putting it
about
in her
ourselves.
words. But
Right. You choose you more. I
yeah,
love me
she was
more.
Yeah.
like, you have went from 100 to zero because she saw me people please. She saw the in the action. Please like me. Oh,
Rearrange your whole schedule. Like, oh my God, I was gonna do this, but I they invited me, so I gotta be there. Oh my
yeah.
God, I gotta go.
Or I was these. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize all the
The
time.
time.
That apology tank just was full. Now, are you gonna apologize? What am I apologizing for? Like, I,
So I see it as we flip the switch,
Wait
right? We
for
we
it.
spend so much more time caring outward of ourselves. We're
uh-huh.
learning to care more inward for
Yeah,
ourselves,
that's a
right?
good one.
Where
That's
where
good,
you
Tasha.
where
Yes.
you place the caring, because a lot of times people think
Yes.
you don't care anymore. No, I just care enough about me
Yeah.
to know the difference. I care
Mhm.
enough about me to no longer need to have my nervous system rattling at 100 at all times and going at 100 miles an hour at all times. I'm okay now to pull off to the side of the road and park and sit there and be okay,
Yeah.
right? But a lot of people don't stay in the healing space long enough to experience the other side. So when you're
Yeah. Because you do have to
comfortable,
stay.
correct, correct. So when you're comfortable with the drama, the chaos, and things always popping off, when you tried to get into, and this happened with my ex-husband, when he came into recovery, we met in recovery, and 3 years into our marriage, and he has said it, life got boring for him. Now he was a police officer, he was in the Navy, and prior to that, he comes from a traumatic background. So if you think about the pattern of his life, there's
A lot
always been
going
this
on.
constant going on
Yes.
with him.
Move. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He was attracted to and loved the idea that my life was a very sober, calm life. Just my days were chilling on the beach. I still do that today. You ladies, joke with me about that all the time. The beach is my
Right.
happy place, right? He wanted it, loved it, but after 3 years of it, he was getting bored. He was like, "Is this it? Nothing more? No drama?" And what we don't realize, because he didn't do it on a conscious level, he
Hmm.
actually started picking fights in our relationship. So that's called self-sabotage. He actually started creating conflict. Like, I remember one day we had gone out to dinner with a couple and came back home, and after dinner he accused me of having an affair with the man that he knows that he's friends with, that I'd never spend a moment alone with the man. We don't have an email, we don't have a phone number, we never talk to each other outside of the dinner. And I didn't see it in that moment, but I learned afterwards is that he needed that excitement. Now, some people will say, well, why would he stir that up? Excitement's excitement.
It's anything that you can stir.
Anything that is gonna feel comfortable, and he's used to conflict. As a Navy officer, as a police officer, he's used to resolving conflict, right? When he was growing up, he was the peacemaker in his family. He didn't like over time that I didn't have a problem for him to solve.
Mm.
See, I was solving my own problems in recovery. Well, I was allowing God to solve my own problems. I'm sorry, I was going to God, and he was like, well, then what am I here for? So he didn't feel valued.
Mm.
He didn't believe that he was needed in the relationship. So he started to stir some shit. Excuse my language. You know what I mean? And that's what we fail to realize. There's a lot of people that are self sabotaging because of what we have grown accustomed to,
Yeah.
rather than taking the time to realize that although I've been accustomed to this, this no longer serves me.
Yeah.
This no longer, and you have, that moment of choice. I have to choose. Do I want to continue to be consumed by the things of this world and allowing the things of this world to shape me and drive the person that I am? Or do I want to step into this relationship and have the spiritual walk with God to where I walk in His purpose and who He created me to be? And you can't be one, well, you could
You
have
can't.
one foot in and one foot out, but you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be able to divinely live the purpose driven life He's called you to live when you've got one foot in the world and one foot in with Him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And Natasha, it's so hard. I'll just put it out there. I know it's hard for people to see that somebody is stirring the pot. You
Mm-hmm.
think when somebody's getting ready to light a fire, they may light it and put it into, the like, with charcoal or whatever. If you want a bigger fire, what you do? Put lighter fluid on top of it, or you're going to add wood, or you're going to add paper or
mhm,
whatever to make that little flame.
Come
But
together.
sometimes we don't realize that, okay, we're in a bad area, so we probably don't need that because the wind is blowing. This may blow up and cause a fire, bigger fire
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else. So let's move. Let's put this out. Let me recognize this small fire can lead to something bigger. So I'm just going to blow it out instead of adding to it and letting it get so big that you're like, ooh, oh, now it's so
Now
big,
it's
we
out of
can't even
control.
contain it. A lot of times we don't check it when it happens because we don't recognize it because we're not all the way in a calm, conducive space ourselves. It's a part of us, like Sparkle said, you don't know that you're healed from men until you get around a man who pushes that trigger. Well, you don't know that. If you've been in calmness for a while, if you don't have anybody to stir the pot, if you don't have
All
anybody,
right.
then you're thinking like, yes, honey, I love it. Life is good over here, baby. It's sunshine and
mhm.
roses, boo, over here until somebody comes in and then we revert back because I'm telling you it's much easier to revert back to old behavior
To what's
than it is
comfortable.
to move forward in new behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people love to be comfortable, but comfortability breeds complacency. When I get comfortable, I get complacent, and it's like I have no desire to do any work. I have no desire to grow. I have no desire to evolve. I have no desire to mature. For me, in my recovery and in this healing journey in space, I've learned that comfortability is not where I need to be. And the minute that I get comfortable, it is a dangerous place for me because now I start to get complacent in my life, and my ego gets in the way. And when my ego gets in the way, I start to want to take back my will and my need to control my life and forget that God's been the one in control the entire time. So a lot of self-reflection is needed, and I don't think we do enough of self-reflection. We're too busy looking at the outside world and looking at who's doing what and what they should and shouldn't be doing. um,
Yes, because society, it does. The world wants you to look towards it, not inward, outward for everything.
Yeah.
That's why so many stimulations, things to stimulate us outside the world, whether it's sex, whether it's food, whether it's drugs, whether
It's
it's
something.
alcohol, it's something, it's a shopping fetish, it's whatever. It is something that we feel like externally, if this happens, I'm going to feel better internally.
and
It-
here's the crazy part, right? We say this, and there's so much stuff out there, and yet we will not teach that in our school system. You have little boys and little girls, another generation that is coming into this world that
Mhm.
aren't learning this stuff. And the question is why? Why are they not learning about emotions? Why are they not learning at an early age on how to regulate their emotions? We are still living in a society that is so quick to judge children and quick to tag them and label them. And he's being behavioral
Tag
and she's being
label.
this. And it's like, no, they don't know how to express their emotion. Are you going to teach them? Or
Yeah.
do you just expect that magically they came out of the womb and they're just supposed to know? And
Yep.
I know the answer to that. I work with enough people in my day to say, well, they should know better. Did they
Said
know that in the womb? Did they go to school
says
while they were
who?
in the womb?
Says who
Exactly.
should know
And the
better?
reality is, Natasha, like you said, the funny thing, we look at children and we look at their behavior and we're thinking nobody teaches them, but they come from a product, an environment who doesn't know it either. So it's
Correct.
just like every year, that's just like,
It's
We
more
don't
and
have the
more.
longevity. To me, I guess maybe in my head, I'm thinking growing up, I had my grandmother and my mother, and my mother was, I think, 27 before 28 when she had me. Well, when you have younger people having younger children, then when y'all are both young, you don't have anyone that gives you that wisdom. If you're 14 having a child, you don't really have
You
your
don't.
own emotions developed to be able to teach your child how to emotionally regulate. So if
Right.
I'm 14 having mine, my mom had me when she was 14 or 12, then by the time she gets 45, I mean, she probably thinking like, "Child, I'm trying to get out here and find me a man to be happy, whatever." So
I'm trying to live my best life.
yeah,
I'm trying to get out here. Live.
so we allow other things, especially now, because me and my girls were talking the other day. It's very rare. Like my girls, I had them in Girl Scouts at the Boys and
Hmm.
Girls Club. I
Me
had
too.
them in environments that, helped them and gave them, good outlooks and fun times and all that. And when you look at society now, I don't really see a lot of places like that for
Yep.
people to go to. More likely than not, most people are allowing these videos and this something with the TV or something with the video games or something with something
So think
to
about
the child.
exposure, right? So what you're saying is you decided that, and this is no wrong or right or good or bad about your parents or that generation. You decided that I was going to expose my children to something different.
Mhm.
Exposure is the name of the game,
Yep.
right? And by exposing them to a different way of living, they have an opportunity to learn that where we came from, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to
Right.
stay
Exactly.
this
With
way.
the go place, I mean, like I think my oldest daughter got to go to Disneyland as a result of being with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah. And
So
Hmm.
to
they was
travel to go
able to
see things
explore.
exactly to explore.
Absolutely.
But that same thing, same principle applies to adults. We have to be exposed to other things so that you know
Correct.
how to maneuver in your life,
Yeah.
or what do you, because a lot of times you shut down something's like, "Oh girl, you need to try this, it's so good." Nah, I'm not eating that.
I ain't needing
Yep.
that.
Yeah, no,
Or
I'm
you
not.
I
tell
ain't trying it.
you tell somebody the journal, and I don't like that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's
So
why it's some. I mean, if people cook, they don't like telling you the ingredients inside of whatever they're cooking because you tell them it has coconut milk. Oh no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I want it. I want it. I want it.
it's like,
And
have you
you
even
like,
tried it?
have you?
But
Because you might not
you
like it
would have
by
been like, "Oh, this
itself.
is so good. What's in it?" Nah, I can't tell you, because then you're gonna be like, "Oh girl, nah."
Yes,
But you just
especially
said
when
it
you
was
already
good.
know the person doesn't like something, so you don't even share that part because in our mind we put all we see is the coconut. Like we
Yeah,
don't
we put a
see
block on it.
that it
Yeah.
has so much more
Yeah,
made out
yeah.
of it.
No, I don't like that. Yeah,
I
I
don't like
automatically
that.
off the rip. It is, Natasha, in talking about emotional addiction, it's a big topic, and like you said
It's
earlier,
such a
because you
huge
have to
topic.
remove the addiction piece, because people won't receive it well. To realize that you've been emotionally attached to the
And
outcome of
emotionally
something,
unstable.
and
We
emotionally
want to take
unstable.
addiction out of it. You are
Hmm.
emotionally unstable. We lack emotional intelligence in this society.
Yeah.
Everybody's all about their intellectual intelligence and having that
Hmm.
high IQ, and let's get 20,000 degrees and let's be doctors and lawyers and all the things. That's great. That's wonderful. But
Hmm.
let's examine the emotional maturity of the individual, and that's a whole
Oh,
other
It's
conversation.
because
a
let's
whole different
examine
thing.
why do you feel like you have to have so many degrees?
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me started.
That's a whole
Right?
different. Why do
Because
you feel like you have to have so many certifications? Like it's
you want to
some
prove something.
people that they have so many, like their wall is covered with certifications.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the reality is, to me, if you have my expectation of how a doctor or a lawyer is going to act and react in certain situations, I'm expecting them to have a higher level of emotional intelligence than I am somebody who does something else. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah,
To me, with what they say, with great responsibility, with greater accolades and things like that, it's greater responsibility. It's just like, even when somebody says, "Well, I'm not trying to be somebody's role model," by default you become it when you achieve certain things, whether you're an athlete, an actress, an actor, or whatever. By
and then you want
default,
to talk
when
to
you go
people.
out here, you want to, people look at you and they expect you to model good behavior.
And this is why when we have that expectation, and unfortunately these individuals, celebrities alike, fall, everybody's shocked. But the reality
Everybody.
is
Oh
Right.
my
there's
God, I
nothing to
can't
be,
believe that
You cannot
happened.
believe it. Like, oh
but
my
they're but
God,
they're
this.
human just like the rest of us. Just because they have money and status
Yes.
and titles
The
and
the
whatever, it
pastor
doesn't
slept with somebody in the congregation and everybody is all uproar.
up in the arms.
And you like, but your son over there sleeping with uh he's sleeping
But
with the
because
choir
we
leader.
have the expectation, like Angela says, because you're a pastor, you shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. But just because I'm a pastor and I went to pastoral school and ministry and did all the things on an intellectual level does not mean I am mature on an emotional level. So his emotional
Doesn't
maturity is
mean
what's
my
driving.
emotions are all taken care of.
Correct. So his emotional instability drives the maladaptive, drives the unhealthy behavior. So again, everybody who wants to run away from emotion and says, I don't have time for it, and I don't have feelings, or my feelings don't matter. Just ask yourself then, what are you operating on when your emotions is what drives how you behave? When people are emotionally reactive, is because I was feeling some type of way, and because I didn't regulate my feelings or manage my feelings, that's why I behaved poorly.
Yeah.
So quit judging the behavior, quit telling people how they should change their behavior, and help support people on how to recognize how they're feeling, feel, feel what you're
Feel.
feeling, and then learn and regulate the emotion. Of a simple 1, 2, 3 step. There goes those fingers again, Angela.
I know. Do it again,
Right?
girl. Do it again.
Identify the feeling, feel the feeling, release the emotion.
Right.
Right?
But I'm loving that you start with identify.
Yes. And you
Because
know
some
what?
people just don't know.
Identify.
Some people don't know how they feel. You ask someone how they feel, and the typical is I'm anxious, I'm mad, or I'm sad. And very rare you hear people say anymore that they're happy. But outside of that, there's so many layers to addiction. To emotions. There's like feeling helpless and hopeless and powerless and rejected and dismissed and guilty and
But
shame and
nobody talks
fear and
about those.
nope,
I think that maybe we need to pull them out. That there's other feelings
emotions. Yep,
besides sad,
glad,
mad.
sad, mad, glad, and anxious. You got to throw anxious in there because I swear every time I talk to someone, it's like I'm anxious, and I'm like,
Anxious. Exactly. Exactly. That's the buzzword, but that's something we can dig a little bit more into, tomorrow. But let me leave this with you in terms of how you think about emotional addiction. When you say God
Don't
is
say
the author
addiction.
of confusion but of peace, when you say that, anything that is not of God, if you're confused, if you're anxious, if you're worried, if you're stressed, if you're overwhelmed, if you're experiencing all these things and you're not able to get back to a level of peace, then that's not of God. So you got to find someone who can help you understand why you're experiencing all of these other emotions all over the place.
And
And,
it's
and why it's
okay
hard.
to feel
And it's okay.
it's
Yeah.
really okay to
to feel.
identify them. Like
Yes.
it's not a crime because you're sitting here saying, I feel I'm fear. I'm scared. That's it. Like it's okay.
It's
You
a legitimate feeling. Or
yes.
some people are like, well,
But
they may
God
be
said
mad.
I don't walk in fear. Okay. Let's break that down. Like we just take buzzwords and let me not talk about how we just take one part of a scripture and we just operate through it
Right.
when he gave a whole chapter on it and you only read one.
One one verse.
Yes. Yes.
And we run with it. But guess what? We are out of time. We are out of time. It's been a today has been a different kind because when you're talking about emotions, that's not a woo like emotions grounds you down, makes you think, make you
Mhm.
process.
And it makes you grow. These type of conversations, if you want growth, these are the kind of conversations you need to tap into about what are you addicted to emotionally? What do you allow that gives you that shot of dopamine or whatever it is that you feel good about because you can clap back and did some things? We're trying to say it's time to regulate your emotions. It's time to get in control of your emotions because that's what
Mhm.
growth is. As you become her or become him, you are able to regulate. It's like a thermostat. It regulates the temperature. You don't go in there and use a thermometer and say, "Oh, ooh, they boiling hot over here. Ooh, baby, it's freezing cold over here." No, you allow the thermostat to adjust where you need that temperature to be. And
Yeah.
it
Amen.
needs to be an even temperature for you to operate in the world so that you're not taken out of character, but that you can deal with things or you can let somebody leave out of your life and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
You just sitting there like, bye bye.
bye.
Have a great one.
Well, and we can have this conversation tomorrow, but I think people struggle with what you just said because a lot of times some of those people are our family members.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes we have to say goodbye to family
Majority of them
members.
are your family
And
members.
I know we said we're gonna go, and so we are, but let me in response to that. Earlier you said when I got to a place where I realized that I was healed from somebody, it doesn't mean that you cut them off altogether. You know you're gonna see at the family reunion, or you know you're gonna see
I can love you and not trust you.
right, or I can just love you from a distance, or love you what they say from a long handle spoon. I don't have to get caught up into the foolishness with you all the time. I
Correct.
can see you and not want to bust you in your head. I can see you.
Because that's growth. That's growth right there.
That's
I
growth.
saw you and did
When I used
not
to want
want
to
to go
punch you in your
upside your
mouth,
head.
when I used to want to punch you in your mouth, now I can be around you and be like, girl, let us say what she's gonna say because really I'm cool with it. Not Bob. Let me go. Anybody got some more
That is
casserole?
growth.
You
That is
Yes,
growth.
that is growth. Like
the teacher
you
said
gotta
being
celebrate those. You
helps
gotta
me to be more aware of who I am. And that's exactly what it's designed for, Miss Patricia, for you to know who you are and how much you've grown. And Tina said, Jesus, you can let go and still love. And
and
that's
Amen.
still love. I'm
Amen.
telling
thank
you.
you. That's a great way to excuse me, end the conversation. Jesus, you can let go and still love. And that doesn't mean I hate you because we're not together and we don't.
I have nothing against you.
I'm not mad at all. I want you to be happy, healthy, and whole. I just don't need to be in your circumference of your
I don't need to be
circle
in yours.
to do that. Not to.
I'm gonna utilize my COVID. COVID said,
Keep
"Stay
my
away."
distance. What was
Like,
it? 6 feet? 6 inches? 6 feet? What
No,
was it?
I
This
want you 600. So let's keep.
yeah. And it's
And you don't
okay.
even have to, just because we're at the family reunion don't mean you need to come over
facts.
there and be like all up in my, we don't have to pretend
Facts.
like we it's okay.
I love you, but it's okay. I
I,
don't even know what's going on the last 5 years that we haven't been together. We don't have to catch up.
so
I love you, but we gotta go.
we
Yeah,
gotta
but
go. Have a great one, y'all.
we,
I believe God. Do you believe God? We believe God. We believe God. Have a blessed one.
Bye, everyone.